Hi there, welcome to our channel. I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
And we are MV Board Gaming. And today we're taking a look at Concordia Solitaria. This is a cooperative and solo game. Yep. It is designed by Mac Gertz and it is published by Rio Grande Games. Nick and I are going to go through how you play and then we're going to give our review.
Just of the cooperative version, though.
Yes, I forgot that part. He told me to say that twice.
Hey, welcome to the board. We're set up for the two-player variant, the two-player expansion, Concordia Solitaria. We are doing the two-player cooperative. So this will be a very basic overview. You will assume you know how to play Concordia. We have taught that game as well on the channel and reviewed it. So this is going to be very simple because you are essentially playing Concordia. It's just an AI that you are managing based upon what you play. So both players are going to have their own set of cards. There will be one card difference. So for instance, this player has an architect card that the other player does not have. The other player has the diplomat card that this player does not have. Other than that, your opponent starts with 0 points, and you and your teammate start with 20 points over there. So we are the red and green players. Yellow players just off the screen, but they're sitting here at 0 points. So they go on the board just like you do, right in the center. On your turn, if this player is going first, they're going to play an action, and their teammate is going to also take part in that action. So for instance, if I played this and said purchase one card into your hand, my teammate will also get to do that. So you kind of want to make sure that both of you can afford to do that. You can pay the resources for a card you want. You can discuss this openly with your teammate to say, hey, do you want to do the Mercator action or not? If you don't want to do it, maybe I'll wait a turn and so forth. Now, the difference here, along with the fact that you're doing this cooperatively, that you're both able to play the card that one person plays, this action, Contrarius here, has his own set of cards here. He has 5 cards right here labeled Contrarius Team. He has 5 cards that he starts with. To start the game, he's also going to take the first one that produces, so he'll have 6. Then we'll refinish this row. All right, here, going to replenish this. Boom, just like Concordia, where they immediately go ahead and replenish. They are going to get this C action, Contrarius. So they're going to get 2 victory points for this if I play this action. If I play the Mercator, they're going to go ahead and roll this dice. The Mercator, and they are going to do the C action, which builds on this resource. So they're going to build at a winery. To do that, first you check what's within distance. And there's different tiebreakers for that. So they can travel too because they have 2 colonists out here. So they can go to this one or this one. Well, since nobody's at it, they're tied. So you go by alphabet. So this one starts with an A, this one starts with an L. That means they are going to go ahead and build on this one right here. So they're going to put one of their yellow houses on that. And the province produces. So if anyone had a spot there, they would also get that resource if they were active. Here, you can defer to your partner, and your partner will play the card. They will react based upon their action. All right, build a house for their best specialist. Well, their best specialist is going to be the one they started with in the game. To start the game, they have the Mason, so they are going to build on the Mason spot. So they're going to build a house on the Mason spot, and they are going to take 1 colonist or 1 card, depending on this die roll. This is the tribute action. This is where you get your cards back. So whatever you're doing, they react to it in their own way. Here, when this person does the architect, they're going to take one of the cards based upon a roll of this die, and they're going to take it from left to right, which one they go to. So they're taking the 5th spot. They're taking this one. Now, these cards are going to score them at the end, just like it scores you. So you know they're getting victory points during the game from cards that you've played, and they're getting victory points for the cards they've collected throughout the game. So if they got this card, well, now they're going to get victory points based upon the conditions of this one. And there is one new one. That is it right there, Venus. And it's listed on the new cheat sheet. So here is the old cheat sheet, and here is the new cheat sheet. So it's going to keep the old scoring where you get 1 VP for each 10 Sesteri. And then based upon, if you know the base game, if you had a bunch of these Vestas, let's say you had 4 of them, you're going to get, for every 10 Solitaria that you have left over, you're going to get 4 VP for every 10. And so forth, all the multipliers from the base game. The new one, Venus, is going to be, the Venus Goddess is where you and your partner, spots in the continents or areas that you both are appearing in, you get a victory point. For Contrarius, they're going to score that if they're in the area with you, a province with either of you, they're going to get a victory point per Venus when they go. So they're going to score a lot of points from these cards out here. They're going to get the multipliers just like you do. So you got to be careful with what they are multiplying, how they're scoring, because that's going to rack them up a bulk of their points. They're going to catch up during the game getting points, but then they're going to really floor it with those cards. All right, that is basically it. You're just sharing different turns. Keep going until this just a standard, the standard end condition is met in Concordia, and that means like if these cards go out, for instance, or if they built, or if anyone built their final building out here, then the game would end. All right, we'll go up top and tell you what we thought.
All right, thank you so much, Nick, for the teach of that game. You know, we don't often get a chance to play cooperative games. We've played the original Concordia game quite a bit. It was actually one of the first reviews I think we did on this channel.
Maybe.
It's early times for us. So what were your initial thoughts, and what are some of the positive things? Because we do enjoy Concordia. If you do watch our review on that one, we did have high scores for the game. So what did you think about this cooperative mode?
Yeah, well, first off, it's cool that they made this in cooperative. There's not very many Euros, that like classic Euros, that get turned into a cooperative.
Yeah.
I know Viticulture just got one, Viticulture World.
Yeah.
I don't see that on sale anywhere. I think you can buy it from Stonemeyer, but I don't see it on sale other places. But I want to try that as well. So it was cool that we were able to get the Concordia Solitaria. Haven't tried the solo, which is, one of the, half the game right there. I'll have to try that sometime. But cooperative, I was excited for it. It's just exciting to try a game that you already love in a different fashion, look at a different light. Wasn't sure how they were going to accomplish it, but what they did was, kind of cool how you're able kind of to dictate what the AI is doing based on your actions. But a lot of times, what you're doing is at the forefront. What I want to do comes before anything, and I'll pay whatever cost because your heart is set on something. But there are things that factor in. That's why we haven't won yet. It's a difficult game.
I was going to say, yeah, so maybe the fact that we aren't looking too much at what...
We are, but not, it's like, it's situational.
It's hard to base your actions on solely what they're doing. And
You can't do that.
You can't.
Because anyone
what the implications are, you
have to be productive, meanwhile, not giving them too much of what they actually need or what's going to score them at the end.
Yeah, because as much as we tried, and not to derail this whole thing, but as much as we tried to work together to make sure that, you buy these buildings, or you're going to take care of this, or you're going to buy that, in hopes that they wouldn't buy it first, they ended up exploring or doing is it explore, adventure? It's
what, for when they put people out?
Yeah.
Explore, yeah.
Yeah, they would end up doing that, and then it would end up beating us to it, even though sometimes we were like, because we had to do the actions before to get the stuff to buy the space.
Yeah, there's so many
different
actions.
So there were so many times, yeah. So there were so
every
many
action's good for them. So architect action.
Yeah.
They're building out when we do the Mercator, all of a sudden they're building buildings out there, and it's like, that's just what I was gonna build.
Yeah, it would always be something like that would happen.
Especially our first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of things to consider. You see more of it every time you play it seems like, and it's just a difficult win. It's definitely a challenge. We're playing on, I think, just standard mode. We're not doing anything fancy. Yeah, it's just tough, and there are a lot of tough cooperative games. This is one of them that we've played. Haven't won. I don't see how we're gonna win, particularly next time either. It's gonna be.
I have a plan.
It's gonna be, something that's probably play quite a bit to get a strategy to actually overcome how powerful their cards are at the end.
Yeah, because we have deployed a few things. We've tried.
Better.
Yeah, we did improve. We tried to bum rush some of the resources and try to snag up all the locations of a certain type, or grab the card strategy. So we've tried a few things. We've tried to make sure that we go together, but you can't always go together to the same place, and you have to pay, interestingly, the penalty for additional players. When you're putting something down, you're going to pay that extra cost, even if it's your teammate that you're putting it down with. So it's not like you get some kind of discount just because you built together. So I thought that was kind of interesting, because it brings me back to the previous game when we were playing against each other. So
so the biggest positive is the smoothness in the way that you can play your cards. So I play a card and we both play it. Then she plays a card and we both play it. I like that. I like the smoothness of that. It doesn't feel forced. And you have an option where you can defer to, you have one of your cards that lets you defer to your teammate, and then they can play. So you have that kind of mitigation where I don't really like my cards. Here, I have this one though that lets you play instead. And it also lets me bleed a card, because the more you bleed the cards, the better it is, the tribute action at the end. So yeah, the biggest pro for me is the fact that when I take an action, we can discuss that action. We both get to benefit from that action, and then we discuss her action. We're gonna pick what's best for both of us usually.
Yeah.
Unless it's very strong for your teammate, then you might go ahead and pick it anyway, because it's just so powerful. It's like you can't ignore it. You're gonna get like 4 tools or whatever it might be. So the cooperative is very strong, surprisingly, in this newly minted co-op game that never was considered a co-op game at any point until a month ago. So it is strong. It's a strong cooperative game. What do you got for good, positive things?
Yeah, I mean, I felt the same way. I really liked that when we were playing together, we were trying to, let's look at the scoring at the end, because at the bottom of the cards, it'll have what that card is going to do for the scoring. So we were looking at that, trying to stop the opponent from snagging up more of those scoring cards, knowing that. So really enjoyed the just straight up the fact that we were playing cooperatively. And Nick was, right, that there aren't a lot of Euro games that I know of that you get a chance to work together towards a goal and go out and team up against an AI, but I always enjoy doing that. And if it has a strong AI component or something that's very smooth, Nick usually does the management of AIs for me when we play, so I always appreciate when he's not frustrated or annoyed or we have to get an app involved which isn't always bad. Sometimes the app stuff is pretty cool because it can always randomize how people do things and stuff, but really like the AI in this game. I enjoyed playing cooperatively. It's a great game as it starts with. I really enjoy collecting resources, trying to get out on the board, seeing yourself spreading out all over the place, and then working together, and how quickly that the challenge of your opponent is interesting too. I certainly don't want to play when it's too easy to win. I think it's nice to have that challenge with you. So overall, it's a very positive experience for me in this game.
All right. Scores?
My score for this, and this is just for the expansion on its own and the cooperative, I'm going to give it an 8/8. I really love it. I would play it anytime. I like it a lot.
Wow, that's really strong. I also have a good score, but it's not that high. It's 8/2 is my score on Concordia Solitaria. That's just for cooperative, like Vic said. I do like how it transitioned to a cooperative. It makes me feel like I can play it either way now. Just whatever you're in the mood for. You move to cooperate, okay?
Yeah.
It's not gonna. If you liked Concordia before, it's probably you probably already added it. It's not it's not expensive or anything. You probably just wanted it as an option because you're a big Concordia fan. Because it keeps the same gameplay. If you know how to play Concordia, this is gonna be a very easy learn because you know the cards already.
And that's why I really appreciated that too. That I wasn't having to relearn a game. It's like, oh, okay, looking at these cards, all right, I got it.
Yeah, it says, just like Concordia, it says right on it, if you need to brush up or whatever on your Concordia rules, it says on the card what it does. A clean gameplay, clean to get into, just difficult. That's the only thing I'm a docket for, because if I can't see a path necessarily in which we're going to win, that dings it a little bit for me. It sours it. It's like, maybe it's a little too hard, but maybe it's just one of those things where you got to get good, Nick. And I don't know. To me, on this mode that we have it on, we should be able to win because we're decent players. We should be able to win. Just because I feel like if you're not that great of a player, you're gonna really get murdered.
Yeah,
by a lot.
I can see
a
that.
lot. And we put up a good game. We still lost by like 23 or something. One other thing I'll say is that it's good. The same kind of note that I was hitting with the fact that we are working together so much. It so much stresses the cooperative nature. It's not one of those games where we just take your score, my score, divide it in the middle, and that's what we score.
Yeah.
We do that, but the whole time we're working on each other's turns. Like, oh, maybe we should do this card.
I'm going to do this, and then, it is.
It is a very good cooperative game in that regard as well. So that'll cover it.
Yeah, I think about says everything we want to say about the cooperative mode of Concordia Solitaria. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more great reviews of cooperative games and games of all sorts.
Sure.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.